Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to another devlog entry, I suppose. Still waking up, pounding that caffeine. Lots to do, lots to cover. So we're just gonna get right into it. Sup, Vince? Sup, Anthony? Sup, Andrew? Good to see you guys. So here we go. So we're here at the lockout page. This is just market.makerremix.com. Remember, we're not open for orders yet. Today is the last day that is true. We will be starting our soft launch tomorrow, the 1st of September, and limited groups will be able to place orders. And if you're part of one of those groups, you'll hear about it. But we have a new feature for vendors today. That's why we're here. So we are going to be taking a look at that today. Remember, if you scroll down just a little bit, there is this link right here, not a vendor yet. Apply now. You can go ahead and click that to sign up, or if you are a vendor, you can click the vendor panel login button here. I did get a couple reports from people that have smaller screen sizes that if you can't see that button even when you scroll down, just hold control and scroll down a little bit to reduce the size of the display here, and then the button should come into view so that you can click it. So just a little bug. We'll get that worked out later, but just in case you're experiencing that problem now, that is a quick workaround for you. So we are going to hit apply now just so we can get logged into the admin panel and navigate to where we need to navigate to that way. So we'll get this to load up. And of course, it's going to ask you to choose your plan. This is the last day. Actually, let's go back and take a look at this. This is kind of important. Today, the 31st of August, is the last day that the Founders Plan will be available. The Founders Plan is free. There's no monthly fee, and you can have unlimited products, unlimited revenue, and you get the sweet, sweet transaction fee of 5% plus 50 cents per transaction. You also get access to the vendor storefront, which is something we're going to be talking about today. Not everyone will. People on the free plan or the basic maker plan are not going to have access to this vendor storefront. This is going to be reserved for people that are spending more money to support the ecosystem, kind of as a thank you. So you get everything. The Founders Plan comes with literally everything, and you don't even have to pay for it. So if you haven't already signed up to become a vendor, make sure you do so. It's market.makerremix.com/pricing, which is exactly where the apply button will take you now when you click it. Don't worry if you applied to become a vendor before this date, even if you didn't select the right plan type when you signed up, or if you signed up before the plan types were even available, you got the vendor founder plan automatically. So you don't even need to worry about that. It was assigned to you by default. But for the last time, guys, this is the last day that you will be able to sign up for the Founders Plan. After today, it is going away forever. And then the best transaction rate you're going to get, even if you're on our Enterprise Plan, which is $90 a month, is 6%. So this is a really good value for those who got in early and helped us develop the marketplace and helped us kind of make it what it is today. So definitely don't miss out on this if you're watching this live. That said, there was a little bit of a veer there, but we're going to continue forward. I'm just going to head to the homepage here so we can get signed in. I like to sign in up here, so we'll drop this down and click sign in. And I'm just going to use NordPass here to get us all logged in here. And now that we're logged in, you guys will see this will say vendor panel for you. Mine says admin panel. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click admin panel down here. And that's going to go ahead and open up the admin backend for me, which is where I can choose what vendor to log into. So I'm going to log in as a vendor here, and we're just going to type our company name, Voyager Gifts, and that'll go ahead and take us to our vendor backend so that we can check that out. You guys don't need to worry about that because you don't have access to the admin panel. So when you log in, you're just going to be taken right to the vendor dashboard right here. If you don't like light mode, because for most of you guys, this is going to look like this, which is just For me, it's blindingly bright. I recommend the free Chrome extension. It's called Dark Reader, and it just inverts a lot of the colors, and it's actually pretty smart about how it does it on the page, so that you're looking at a dark mode version, even if a dark mode version isn't available on the site. So I really recommend that if you haven't already installed something like that. It helps me out a lot. So we have some new stuff going on. The first thing is custom vendor menus and collections. So here we are. This is the Voyager Gifts page. So here are some just test products that we've been making as we've been testing things. Here I've got my profile banner, I suppose, and my profile photo. Remember this setup, this is the vendor storefront, right? The micro store, I think it's called in the back end. This is only available to founders, people on the Maker business plan, or people on the enterprise plan. So if you want this, sign up today. But essentially what we're adding is menus to this big blank space right here. So we'll be able to organize our products however we want and drop it down so that we have little drop down menus, and people are going to be able to create collections and build kind of custom menus to organize the products the way they want to, rather than the way that the marketplace organizes them by default, so that you can kind of customize your own shopping experience, which is really nice. Now, the vendors did do, or the devs rather, did do a little test setup here with Kyle's. Let me see if I can navigate to us really quick so we can just take a very basic preview look at what we're looking at here. So here you can see Kyle's different collections. So he's got collection 1, collection 2, and collection 3. And these don't even drop down. They're just literally like you click it and it takes you to the collection. And the collection will just be a list of products. The collection will have a photo, so you can assign a photo to a collection. If you have a nice picture of a bunch of similar products together, you'll be able to place that here. Collections also have a title and a description, so you can tell people a little bit more about your collection. So that's kind of the basic goal there. Now, this is very, very simplified. The way that the devs have demonstrated this here. Again, we have collection 1, collection 2, and collection 3. What we'd really like to see is drop downs, right? So like maybe it says fiber lasers and you drop this down and it lets you pick, Q-Pulsed or MOPA or, whatever. Or maybe this says aluminum business cards and you drop this down and it has like a list of sizes or something like that. However you want to organize that, you will be able to do that based on what we choose in the menus here as we design things. Sorry, I'm trying to read chat at the same time as I'm describing things here. Matt will be joining us shortly. Anthony's asking, is this video going to stay up after the stream for reference? Yes, absolutely. I'm not touching this, nor have I touched any of the Marketplace Network devlog videos that we've uploaded or done live. All of them are still available, and there is a link down in the description to the entire playlist. So if you haven't seen them all, or you've missed any of the devlog entries, you can click the list down in the description, and that'll take you to the playlist with all of the live streams we've ever done demoing new features and kind of showing how to use them. Also, when development is settled, and we're very close to that, we're just mopping up little things at this point. All major features are functional, but when development is settled, I will do kind of like a short burst 2-minute, 3-minute video series about just each of the individual functions of the marketplace that people can look back on. But you guys don't want to wait for that, so I'm throwing out these lives now just to kind of show you things as they're developed and added, so that you guys can stay on top of developing your stores. So that is that. So this is the goal, right? So we've got collections and we've got a menu that takes you to those collections. Collections will also be listed globally. So we've added a small link up here at the top of the webpage that says collections. And if we click that, that's actually going to show us all of the collections on the entire site. So here you can see a bunch of different collections that have been generated, and you're able to click them as you please. We will come back to this later because this is how we're going to find our collections when we're building our menu. collections inherently have static URLs. So they do not change. They're always going to have these URLs just based on a simple ID factor. And we need this when we're building our menu to make sure that our collections come up when we're building our menus. So we're going to talk about that too. I'm going to walk you guys through every step of the process. So um, I've not done this yet, by the way, disclaimer. I read all of the dev log notes this morning and kind of tried to educate myself on it, but we are doing this for the first time together. So we're going to figure it out together. We may encounter a couple bugs along the way. We may learn a thing or two that I didn't know. So this will be like your guys' first time jumping into this. You're just doing it with me. So this is definitely a first time experience here. The first thing we're going to need in order to generate collections are some products. Now, if we click My Products, you can see we've got listings, bundles, collections, reviews. We're going to go to listings first before we even touch the collections menu, because this is not enough products in order to generate a reliable amount of collections, right? I want to create like one or two solid collections. So we're going to just create a new product here. And we're just going to start like adding things really fast, just so that we have like a visual range on screen that shows that the collection is only the items that we added to that collection. So let's start by saying, first we're going to need some test images. So let's go to, I'm going to borrow some images from Google here. And we're going to look for vacuum sealed tumblers. Oh, are you guys still there? Sorry. I think I pushed a button on my keyboard. You should be able to hear me now. Let me know if that's fixed. I'm going to save that one. There I am. Okay, great. Sorry, you really just missed me ranting about the clone functionality up here in the top right corner working. So you didn't miss anything of value there. I'm just creating as many different products as I can so that when we go in to build our collections, it's a realistic experience. But I was just saying I'm happy that the clone functionality works. That does make things easier, and I don't think that I've ever actually clicked the button before. So I'm just content with that. That's all. Not you didn't miss any make or break information there. I'm just cruising through these as fast as possible. We're on tumbler number 5 now. So I'm just going to keep cloning. There we go. And we've got one more after this. Let's get rid of that one. There we go. Oop, did not. Great, tumbler 5. Stellar, and then last one. And this will be tumbler 6. Just assigning some kind of variable pricing here. And then we'll do one more set. So we've got our tumblers, then we'll do one more set after this so that we can create 2 separate collections. All right, great. So there's tumbler number 6. Let's just navigate back to our product listings here and make sure that these are showing up. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are disabled, so we do want to activate those. Excellent. And from here, we're just going to come up with a new product category. I don't know what they're going to be. Let's try, how about some Romark swatches? This will be great. So we can just come in and grab these really easy. So we'll grab those 5, and then maybe the wood ones down here will make a good second collection, right? So we can do like a wood collection for that. So we'll grab some of these too, and that'll showcase the drop-down menus. So that should be fairly straightforward. So with those, we will come in, and we're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to create a new product. This one we're going to do from scratch, and then we'll clone for the rest, and I'm just going to move through these as fast as humanly possible. We will at some point do a full-length video about just product creation, because I know I'm breezing through a lot of stuff that we should be spending more time on. So we will talk more about just creating products in general fairly soon.
Yo.
What up, dude?
Living the dream, baby.
Yeah, buddy. So I'm just catching these guys up. All we're doing right now is creating some test products so that we have enough products that it makes sense to have collections, so that we can show off creating collections, and then we'll talk about generating the menus and how to attach those to the collections. So I'm just kind of talking to myself right now to fill dead air while I knock these product additions out, and talking about little features here and there as they come up.
Awesome.
Yep. Are you on the right mic?
I think so. Let me double check. Audio. Yep.
Okay.
Is it far away? Oh, my gain was down. Is that better? At all? Better.
Fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
My goal in life, to be fine.
I don't even know if this is the right cat. Did we didn't have like a Romark IPI category, did we? It was just acrylic.
Just acrylics.
Yeah, just acrylic. So I'm calling this 2-ply acrylic. And for categories, it's going under PMMA, which is, again, in parentheses, acrylic there. Price, we'll, just give it a price. And then we're just going to drop in our first image. So the first one, I guess we can do this walnut one here. There we go. And we'll call this 2-ply acrylic 1, just like we did with the tumblers. We're not getting specific. We're just trying to make a point. So this should be good. So I'm going to create this one. And then we're just going to start cloning these bad boys so that we can get through this. So there's our first clone. I'm going to delete that photo and upload the next one. I'm glad you're here. I've been having a hard time doing this and watching chat.
No, you're good. Jack, what's up, man? Hey, Willie. But yeah, we gotta, like, this is kind of nice because, like, if you've ever done Shopify, they don't even have, like, the clone listing thing, at least not that I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
You can duplicate something, I guess, but then it doesn't, it automatic, like, it's already actively live. So it's not like you can actually go and modify it. So it's one of those things you got to go back a little bit and do. It's always interesting. So we got walnut, got blue, little Starbucks action, Starbucks espresso and cream.
All right, since this is not the wood, let's actually give it like a different price, just to be a little different.
See, and what was funny is the person who signed up yesterday that I went over to visit and talk to, they were sitting there going like, oh man, it probably takes a long time to generate these. And I was like, actually, no, it's pretty quick.
Are we not allowed to talk about that?
I mean, we can, I guess. It's just...
Is it a secret?
No, I don't think so.
We got H&H Creations. Which
is H&H Creations Tampa, which is down the road from me. Like, I literally drove through a hurricane yesterday to go visit them. And I was like, hey, you guys should totally be on the marketplace. All right. And they were pretty excited about it. And they just had questions.
Yeah.
And I got some of their cool new stuff that they got their Deco Craft. So they got a gigantic UV printer and are making some really cool stuff.
It's pretty baller.
Yeah. So now, like, you can actually, I mean, well, I'm not going to talk for them. They got all kinds of things they're going to be doing, though. But it's pretty sick. So that's what I was trying to tell them yesterday while I was sitting there with them for a little bit. I took my daughter with me, and we went over there. And she got to see all the pretty stuff, and she was super excited. But what's really nice is, for anybody who's sitting here listening, backers for Christmas stuff, like when you're making a little Christmas ornament out of wood, now you can just pop a backer that actually has a pattern on it, and there's nothing. You just pop it on, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Willie said he's not driving. Okay.
All right, there we go. Acrylic 8. Okay, so we've got all our products in. Sorry for the wait.
That took 3 minutes and 12 seconds, by the way.
Well, we just did all the tumblers too. It probably went faster still. Oop, I just closed my vendor. Hold on. Get logged back into that.
Well, and that's, if you have all your pictures in one spot, it makes life super easy, guys.
Yeah, totally. All right, so my products, we're just going to double check and just make sure all our products are in there. So we have tumbler 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we've got acrylic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So everything's in there. Again, we're just going to activate these listings. We do want them to show up in our collections. So when you clone a listing, it clones it into a disabled state. So it's just an important thing to note. You have to make sure you activate those after cloning them. All right, so we're done. So now we get to build our collections. So collections are going to be next, and then the last step is going to be actually generating the menus. I guess you could generate the menus first, but I think it'll make more sense when we have collections to work with. Here we can see manage collections, no data found. Just like other parts of the vendor backend here, there is a little plus button right up here in the top right corner. This one says add collection, and we're going to do that. So for this one, we can call this, premium. Maybe you've got like 100 tumblers, but these are your premium tumblers. Right, and we want to kind of just organize those into a collection so they get seen more often. listing page image. So this is the image that is going to be shown to people that are visiting your collection. So we want to click local, and we'll pick one with multiple tumblers because that'll obviously be most appropriate for the situation. Detail page image, I'm not sure where this goes, but I am happy to experiment. So we'll pick a different one just so that, maybe not the Nike one. We'll pick a different one just so that we have an anchor, so that if we see this image somewhere, we know that is the detail page image one. I'm not sure what that is, so we're going to find out. Position is just the order that it's going to come in when people are viewing collections on your page. Right now, we'll leave that set to 0, and we will give it a brief description. These are our premium tumblers, right? You could definitely write more than that. This, I would not argue, is sufficient. It's just a holdover right now. And then we're going to hit create. I could click products, but I'm not sure if it's going to save this. So I'm just going to hit create anyway, and we'll edit to add products to it. Collection with no product cannot be activated. Please assign products to this collection first. All right, so we probably should have gone to products first. So we'll go to products, and here, no items defined. Again, top right corner, add products. Great, we can do this. And here we go. Here's a list of all of our different products. This can be where having like a solid SKU system could really help you out because you can just pick things by SKU. But we don't have that for all of our products, so we're just going to go by name. These are our premium tumblers, so we're going to go ahead and just check those, and we will add to products, or add products and close, because we're done adding products here. There was also a search there. Did you notice the search?
Yeah, if you've got like a huge list of
and
products.
Some people do. Looking at you, Gulf Coast. So we're going to now save this. So let's go ahead and save this collection. And we should, if we did this right, we should see this populate. I don't think you were here for it, Matt, but there is now a link to all collections in the top bar here. So we'll go up to all collections and just verify that that was added. And I don't see it, so perhaps we need to activate it. So let's go back to the collections overview. There it is, disabled. All right, so let's make sure we activate that. And then we'll refresh the collections page. And there we go, premium tumblers.
By the way, I'm glad that it doesn't activate it until you specifically manually activate it, because I've done stuff where I messed up before and didn't realize it in one of my collections on Shopify, and had to sit there and mess with it.
Yep.
And then people, but it always sucks when a customer tells you, "Hey, I don't see this," and you're like, "Oh yeah, it's supposed to be there."
Yeah, definitely.
You know? So
I'm sure it's worth the times it saves your butt, or worth the times that it's awkward.
Yeah.
So
it's just one of those things. By the way, Willie is asking, so what do you think about wholesale glassware for the marketplace? This would be what you can create, is a collection. Yep. So if you have shot glasses, pint glasses, wine glasses, and all those things, and you're trying to wholesale on here, this would be what you do. You create a glassware collection, and when they go into it, you could have all your different products listed right there.
Yep. Under laser blanks, under drinkware, we do have wine, pint, whiskey, and highball glasses. We could always add more if it was requested. There is not a single listing in any of these. So my normal answer is throw it up. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Let's get it on there. Let's get these collections filled out. So I'm on board. So if we take a look at our premium tumblers, let's find that image. So there's that one image that we selected. And here's the other. Okay. So one of them, let's just call these what they are real quick. So our listing page image is the image that it's going to show when we're listing all the collections.
Right.
Okay. Important to know. And then we have the detail page image, which is when we click the collection, and then we have an image up here. Okay. So that is the difference between those two image types. I hope that helps. And here we are. These are our premium tumblers. So there's our description. It's not using up the character limit here. So there's no more that I can click. But we have all of our premium tumblers in one spot. If, again, you have 30 listings for tumblers on your page and you want to put them together, you know, maybe you have one called premium tumblers and then you have another called value tumblers, you know, and you can separate them that way, because we're on the market end certainly not going to have like categories for that. That's way too niche down for general marketplace usage. So this is where you really get to take control of your shop and build the organization that makes sense for the products you specifically are uploading, and how you intend to sell them. And I think that's great. So our first collection is done. This one we'll just have on the menu. I'm planning the menu out in my head right now. This one will just be a link. It'll just be one bar of our menu and it'll say premium tumblers. You click it, it brings you here. There's no drop down or anything like that. The next one we're going to build is going to be a collection for our 2-ply acrylic. And that one we are going to have 2 different sub menus, I suppose, if you want to call it that. We're going to have our like kind of Romark Naturals selection and then our Romark Colors selection. I'm just making those names up, but we're going to create 2 separate collections for this one group of products so that I can show you guys how the menu drop down works. So that'll be great. So let's just get right into it.
All right, I'll talk about the chat for a second here. Cuban Crack just showed up. Said, hey, everyone. Thankful to be able to catch a little bit of this in between classes. Good to have you here, buddy. Willie left to go dig a pond, so we'll talk to you later, pal. Vince said, dig for that gold, baby. And Cuban Crack says, this is going to help me pay for my next laser. He's already on to the next one, man.
Nice.
And for those of you who are just showing up, like Cuban Crack and anybody else, basically Alex is making collections and showing us how those function and all the different pieces within those collections, right?
Yep. This will be an important one to watch from the beginning. So if you've missed any significant part of this, definitely go back and watch from the beginning after the stream is over. So I just collection name 2-ply acrylic natural collection. We can even put like a break border in there. 2-ply acrylic natural collection. I added just some pictures of the 2-ply acrylic to the listing page and detail page image spots, and we gave it a cheap acrylic. Gotta check that spell check, baby. Acrylic. We gave it a cheap description here, so we'll create that one. It's going to yell at me because I didn't add any products to it because I forgot to click it. So let's get that clicked, and we'll add a product.
Grab that wood, baby.
Grab it. So here we've got 1, 2, and 3. I just know that I did those first. But you may not know which of these is which, so you'll have to either, again, use the search. There is a search up here. You could pull up only items of a specific category or search by price range, but we know which one's which because we just made these. So 1, 2, and 3 are natural ones. Go ahead and click add products, and I didn't close, so we can close manually here, and we will save. And we'll come back to collections. Make sure we activate that sucker. And let's take another look at collections here. And there we go. 2-ply acrylic natural collection. So it does look like there's a character limit on here. I don't particularly like that. At some point, we will get that to at least 2 lines for you guys because that is a bit short. You can also see it's important to use like square up your images. Like if I was really going to use this image, I would paste this like tall thing onto like a white square and then re-export it from an image editor so that it kind of worked with everything else. At some point, I will have the devs, or what they're going to do is just crop this down and force it into a square and then blow the square up. And that's not going to look very good. So the closer you are to a 1-to-1 aspect ratio in general is going to be better for your products long term because that's where the marketplace is going to go. As far as displaying those things, because things like, you know, these weird black bars just aren't ideal when you've got nice squares literally everywhere else. So just something to keep in mind. Neither here nor there.
Quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
Earlier today, one of our other vendors had asked about sizing on images. Have you talked about that at all in here? The 900 by 900.
No, but we can talk about that definitely when we're done with the collection series for sure. So here it is, 2-ply acrylic. Natural collection. We've got our 3 and we've got this guy here, a natural look on grade acrylic done. So that's great. So now we've just got one more to make. I'm going to talk about it a lot less because you guys just watched me do it. No ability to clone collections. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but that was my default move.
And it's
was
so
to, like,
fast to make one once you've got the products, though. It's kind of
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we'll add that at some point. I can't think of a great use case, but it just kind of seems like it should be there.
Yeah.
We'll call this 2-ply acrylic,
35,
and this one will be called the color collection. Great. Listing page image. So this time we're just going to pick a colorful one. And detail page image again. We'll just pick a different colorful one there. And this is 2-ply acrylic that comes in lots of colors. Sweet. And create. And again, I forgot. I can't seem to remember to like click to add products, because everything else on the website seems like you have to create the thing first and then populate it. But collections specifically, you're creating and populating at the same time. It's not a huge deal. It doesn't break your collection or anything like that. It's just a little weird. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's add products and close. Save. Then we want to come back to collections and remember to enable that. I did not forget. So let's get that enabled. And one last time here, we're going to just check our collections page and make sure everything came in well. 2-ply acrylic color collection. Let's open this guy up, and boom, there are colors. That's sweet. That looks awesome. It's really cool that works. You know, I'm a big fan of that for sure.
Just pops right in.
It just pops right in, and like they look nice together. You know, like these different kind of like similar items, and just having they did a good job. This is really nice. So now what we need to do, if I refresh our store page here, we want people that are visiting our storefront to have an easy way to get those collections, to get to them. Right now, there is no easy way to get to those collections. If they come up here and they click collections, they'll find it eventually, but this list is going to fill up very quickly with collections from vendors selling all sorts of things. And your customers are here now, so there should be a menu here that they can click to browse products that you've organized into collections. So that's what we're going to do next. So we are going to first, let me see if I can remember how to do this. This is where it gets a little fuzzy for me. We're going to come into vendors and vendor menu. And by the way, one of the active tickets with the developers right now is that this menu is getting reorganized to make more sense and be easier to use. So wherever things are right now are liable to change, because they are renaming and reorganizing a lot of the things in this list in order to make it easier to use long term. So just want to kind of throw that out there. But for now, at the very least, we're going to come to vendors, vendor menu, and this is where we're going to be able to create our menus. So again, it's very similar to creating anything else in your vendor backend. We've got a big title, no data found, and a big plus button in the top right corner. If we click that, it's going to allow us to create a menu. So this here, we're just naming the menu. This isn't like an item in the menu or anything like that. So if we wanted to call this the Tumblr menu, because all of the links in this list are going to pertain to tumblers, we can name it Tumblr menu. And whether we want it to show or be active, we can set here. So we'll go ahead and set that to active and create. And now the menu has been made, but now we need to populate the menu. There's nothing in it yet. I'm not sure if it'll even show up. If we reload this here, there's nothing. So it's not even going to come up because it's not populated with anything. So we're going to click the wheel icon up here. That should pull up our settings. We can click Manage Items. If we want to edit the menu itself, we can click Edit. That's just going to bring us back to the screen we were just looking at. We want to manage items in the menu. And here it says items for menu, Tumblr menu. So here we're adding our items. Those are our menu entries, okay? So parent item, root level, that just means how far down the tree, if you're going to have subcategories for your menus, how far down the tree you want this to go. We don't have any items in our menu yet, so we can't have any child menus, if that makes sense. There's nothing in the menu, so we can't make anything that a child of the menu yet. So for this one, we're just going to name it like, our tumblers. Okay. Position. This is where it's going to appear in the list of menu items. We're going to set this one to 0 because it's going to come up first. If we want this to, like, let's say we're going to go with our previous example. Okay. We're going to have premium tumblers and we're going to have value tumblers. If we want our tumblers to take us to a separate collection that has both premium and value tumblers, right? We would create a collection for that, and then we can paste that URL here. We don't have a collection built for that, so we're not going to paste a URL here right now, but you can do it, and I feel like that's important to point out. Whether or not we want this menu to open in a new window, it's pretty self-explanatory. Don't worry about activate menu item for dispatch. I'm probably going to just hide this so you guys can't see it. Doesn't really apply to you. And then for generate submenu, you can have it generate a submenu that includes a specific page. So if you wanted to point to, like, I don't know, the contact page about the marketplace or something, you could do that, but I don't really think that's going to apply to a lot of you or a specific category, but that's going to show the categories for all vendors, not just you. So right now we're just going to click none. We don't really need a submenu, and I'm not particularly worried about it. If you did want this to link to something, again, you'd use this URL field here and you would paste the link. But because we don't have an overall tumblers, we just have a premium tumblers collection, we're going to leave that blank, and it's just going to be a piece of the menu. So from here, we're going to hit create. And here we go. So we have our first section of our menu. It's active. If we reload, we should see it. Our tumblers. Okay. Now, this doesn't go anywhere when we click it because we didn't assign a URL. And it doesn't drop down because there are no parent items or child items. Hopefully that makes sense. So we've created a piece of this, but we need to now give it more pieces. I know this is really confusing, but just bear with me. It'll make sense in a minute. So we have our tumbler menu, and of that tumbler menu, we've given it kind of like the body, our tumblers. Now we need to create links to our collections that are going to show up under our tumblers. So next, we're going to come in here, and instead of selecting root level, this is going to be a child of our tumblers. And here we'll call this premium tumblers. Okay, so here's premium tumblers right here. Position 0 is fine because this is a child of that, so they're not going to interfere with each other. And this we do have a URL for. It's our premium tumblers collection, but we need to get that URL in order to put it here. I'm hoping, and I put in the dev notes for them, that at some point you can just type the name of a collection in here and it'll autofill and you can click it. That's what I'd really like it to do. But it's not there yet. So for now, we're going to have to grab it manually. So we'll come back to this in a second. Let's find the URL to our collection we made. So we're going to come down to My Products, Collections. And it should load our collections up here. And here we go. Here's our Premium Tumblers collection. We can click it. And up here, oh, nope, that does not give us a preview button. So that might be a good idea too. So perhaps the only way for now to do this is to actually go to the storefront, go to collections, find your collection, which is not ideal. And we'll copy this here. There it is, collection and collection ID. We're just copying the entire URL. And then we're going to come back to our menu page with that URL on our clipboard. So we'll come to vendors, vendor menu. We're working in our tumbler menu. Here's our parent category, our tumblers, and we're going to add a category. So the parent is our tumblers. We want this new menu item to show up under our tumblers as a submenu. And we're going to call this premium tumblers, position 0, and URL. We'll go ahead and paste it in here. So there it is. There's the URL to our collection. Okay. Activate menu item for dispatch. Again, we're not worried about that right now. We can, again, choose to open this in a new window if we'd like to. And I'll go ahead and check that for now. We're going to leave submenu set to none, and we're going to create. All right, so now we can drop this down. Okay, so this is what I meant. This is the parent, and then this is the child. The parent doesn't link to anything. It could, but it doesn't. And the premium tumblers is the child, which will link us to our premium tumbler collection. So let's take a look at this in practice. Okay, we're going to come back to our storefront here. Let's hit the back button. Hopefully get back to it without having to go the long way around. There we go. So the first section here is the tumbler menu. That is the invisible piece that houses everything else. The second thing is the main object. That's our main menu. It's called Our Tumblers. Okay, so when I hover over Our Tumblers, it generates a drop-down list here that we can then navigate through. The child object, the child item, is Premium Tumblers. There it is. And when we click it, it takes us to our Premium Tumblers page. So that is about as straightforward as I can make it. The only thing that I'd really like to see, and I'm sure you'll agree, Matt, is a link back to your storefront from the collection page.
Yeah, like maybe right there off to the right side where it's got a lot of space.
Yeah, like maybe Premium Tumblers and then like buy and like the name, and you can just click it like right in there.
Or like found at.
Yeah. Outside of that, you can either hit the back button, the customer can hit the back button, or if they're smart enough, they will think to click on the listing inside, and then there is a link to your shop right there. That they can click to get back here too. But we want to make it even easier. Go ahead.
So Ed C said, silly question, but why are you showing us how to make a button on the back end?
Well, this is your vendor back end.
Right.
So this allows you to, again, create these custom menus here. So here we've added this menu item, Our Tumblers, to our page. This is my test vendor storefront, right? Voyager Gifts. This is where I do the majority of our testing for development. And so it's super easy to actually come in and create your own menus that go to your own collections of products. So that's what we're doing right now. That's what we're demonstrating.
And Ed just showed up a little bit late too, so that's why he's missing it. So if you just got here, Ed, what's happening is we're creating collections first, showing how like the functionality of that menu works in that setup system, and then actually creating menus on your page. So for example, Gulf Coast Laser Engraving makes a ton of jigs, and they've got files, they've got jigs, they've got all that stuff. So if someone said, hey, where did you get that from? And the only piece of information you got was Gulf Coast Laser Engraving, and they have 75 entries. Now, instead of having to scroll through 75 entries, by putting that little button at the top, you're kind of prioritizing information for your buyers so that they can find that faster and hopefully actually complete a purchase.
Yep. And this is one I mentioned this probably like 20 or 30 minutes ago. So
yeah,
you probably missed it, Ed. But this is one of those episodes where, like, if you missed a chunk of this, like any chunk of this, after the stream's over, go back and watch from the beginning, because it's going to make a lot more sense having seen the process and the setup and kind of the theory on why we would want to do this. It all gets explained fairly well. I think we've actually been doing pretty good today, and we're staying on track. Yeah. So head back to the beginning after the stream, watch it from the beginning. It will be available on the channel under the MakerREMIX Network Devlog playlist. Continuing on, we are going to do our 2-ply acrylic here in just a moment, but I do want to show you can build out the structure of your menus before the collections are done. So if we come into our administration panel here, we can add a new category. Remember, I kept saying value tumblers. Well, like, let's say we want to build that framework out so that we can remember how we want to organize our products while we're making collections. We can do that. You can click Our Tumblers as the parent item, and then over name here, we can just type value tumblers. This is going to be position 10, because remember, premium tumblers as a child was 0. So this will be position 10 because we want it to appear afterwards. Okay. And URL, we don't have a URL yet because we haven't created this collection. That's okay. It's not required. We can just leave that blank and hit create. And if we hit create and it loads, so first off, if we drop this down, you can now see value tumblers listed as a child item under Our Tumblers. And if we reload the page on our storefront and hover over Our Tumblers again, now you can see premium tumblers and value tumblers, just like that. this will probably take a little CSSing, I think, just because I think it's using the big menus from like the catalog for the drop-down menus in the vendor shop. So we can probably clean this up to make it look a little nicer. But there are premium tumblers, excuse me, and value tumblers. One last thing I want to show you while we're in our little tumbler menu here. We have our tumblers and premium tumblers, value tumblers. If we want to add a little visualization to this, we can. It's actually really easy. So if we click premium tumblers here, and we come here to AB Unitheme 2, it will give us an option here to activate settings and select an icon. This is really powerful, guys. This is really powerful. So if we let this load up and we want to give a visual representation of our premium tumblers, we can come in here and select one and hit open. And then we're going to just save those changes. Make sure you click activate settings. Okay. And if we refresh here again on our storefront page, and we have this pop down, it should be showing up here. Where did I? Maybe our tumblers. Maybe I need to activate it in the parent first. Like I said, we're doing this for the first time together today. Is there anything else that I am missing?
Well, either way, keeping cracks that I'm learning more here than at college, and this is free.
That's about. Let's refresh this here. Maybe we don't support images on these menus. All right, note to self, add support for images on these menus, because I think that would be cool, like little ones, little icons or something that you can make so that there's like a visual guide as you're scrolling through the menus. That's what that is for, because that's how we use it on our catalog here. That's where all of these little pictures come from. It's the same thing. We use the same process to create menus for the site as a whole. And when we select, a category or menu item, and we add a file here. Oh, did we not? Let's make sure that we actually added that file. Let's pick a different one just to be sure and save. Let's refresh. Is this going to work now? It'd be really cool if it did. No. One more refresh, and then I'm calling it. Doing a cache refresh. No. Okay. So let's just validate that it's saving. You guys are seeing our testing procedures live. It's very exciting.
Yeah, this is what we've been doing for the past 2 months.
Horizontal drop-down list icons or AB vertical drop-down list with icons. Unitheme 2. It looks like my pictures I'm uploading aren't sticking, and I'm not really sure why, which is a little strange.
They've all looked like that there, but then when you go to actually hit load, they're what they're supposed to be.
Do I get an error? Nope, I don't even get an error. Premium tumblers, AB, but it's not saving. All right, we'll talk to the devs about it later. Neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter for what we're doing today. But the CSS here on the menu, I don't know why this is so wide. It's kind of ridiculous. So we'll try to get these more tucked in so that it's just enough space for your menu items, and we'll get that a little more responsive. But we still need to add our 2-ply, which we do have 2 collections for. So let's build those really quick. So this time we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to move a little bit faster. Now, items for menu, tumbler menu, this was probably a mistake. Because we don't actually see tumbler menu, and actually the next thing in line here is going to be our 2-ply acrylic. So we could, I don't know what happens if we add multiple menus. We can test that another time. But for now, let's just navigate back to our main menu page. Here's our tumbler menu. We're going to rename this just so that we're not confused. So let's just call this main menu or my storefront menu. That's really what it is. And we will save it. Because now we'll have my storefront menu, and we can click that. We'll come in here. There's our tumblers, right? And our tumbler links. And then we can create our 2-ply. So let's do that. So this one Remember, we've been setting the parent to our tumblers, but now we're going to create a new parent because we're doing a new type of product. So we don't want our 2-ply acrylic listed under our tumblers. So we need a new root level item. So the name of this is going to be 2-ply acrylic, and our position is going to be 10 because our first root level item, our tumblers, is position 0, right? And the reason we go from 0 to 10 is because if we ever want to add anything in between those two items, we can set it to 5 or 4 or 3, right? We're giving ourselves space. On some of our larger menus that we have in the admin backend, we'll actually do 0, 100, 200, 300, which gives us a lot of space to add and change things without changing the position number of everything else. Because if you do position 1 and position 2 and position 3, you have to change all of the numbers of everything that comes after 3 if you want to change 3 to 4. So just throw a 0 on there. It'll make it easier on you in the long run. So that's why we're doing that. Again, we don't have a collection made for just 2-ply acrylic in general. We have 2 specific collections made. So this will stay blank for now. But if we wanted to have one that was just all of our 2-ply acrylic, we certainly could create that collection, and we would paste the static URL to that here. But for now, we're done in this menu. So we'll go ahead and hit create. And then check this out, okay, guys? So for our root items, we have our tumblers at position 0, and we have 2-ply acrylic at position 10. If I wanted to swap these and I wanted 2-ply acrylic to come first, all I have to do is change this to 0 and this to 10, and we can save those changes. And that would be super easy. But we don't need to do that right now. That's no big deal. So we will, again, we want some drop downs for our 2-ply acrylic. We made 2 collections for this one. So we're going to add. And this time we're going to select 2-ply acrylic as the parent. And we're going to do our natural at position 0 because we're starting under a new root. So it's not going to interact with any of the other zeros on this list. It's a new root item. So position 0. And then we need that URL. So we're going to have to go hunt down that URL again. So we're going to come to collections. We're going to find or search for our 2-ply acrylic natural collection. And then this is the URL we want. It's the one with the ID. So we'll go ahead and get a copy on that. Drop that in. Have it open in a new window and create. And there we go. Our first menu item is added. There's the natural, which I definitely spelled wrong. And then we'll add another one, 2-ply acrylic. And we'll call this one colors. Position, again, we just did 0, so we're going to do 10. And we need the URL for that one. Let's back it up here. Find the one for colors. Copy that. And drop that in. And we're done with everything else. We'll have it open in a new window and create. So I just did that basically as fast as I possibly could. And they're both in there and everything is active. So if we reload now our storefront page, we should be seeing some menu action here. So here we go. So our tumblers is in position 0 with premium tumblers in position 0 as a child and value tumblers in position 10 as a child. And then we have 2-ply acrylic in position 10 as a root level item with naturals in 0 and colors in 10 because colors come second, right? So hopefully that ordering makes sense to you guys. Hopefully I'm explaining that well. And of course, clicking 2-ply acrylic doesn't do anything because we don't have a collection for it, but we have naturals and colors, which do both take you to the appropriate collection when you click on them. So that's that. One last thing I want to show you guys, because I've talked about this a lot in non I don't even know the word in abstract.
Before you go on real quick,
yeah,
I was going to say something else to help people like understand that numbering system. It's almost like 0 and 0. So this is going to be the very first thing that's on there. 1 comes after 0. So instead of thinking of it as like 0 and 10, you can even think of it as like 0 subsection 0 subsection 1 subject. You know what I'm saying? So like 0 comes before 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that's how, when we were looking at our big like admin stuff, that's the way everything made sense to me too. So I don't know if that helps anybody. There you go.
So I threw this together really quick. It's a new collection. It's called 2-ply acrylic all. So this will be all of our 2-ply acrylic.
Hey.
All of our 2-ply acrylic. I set our listing images. This time I'm going to remember to add the products before creating it. I know, look at me. So we'll click add products and it'll load the menu here. And we will select all of our 2-ply acrylic listings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
There it
and
is.
We're going to add products and close. Okay. Items were added successfully. We love it. And we got to make sure we hit the create button because we didn't hit it. So let's create. Great. Your changes have been saved. Perfect. So let's add this last collection just to prove the menus work a certain way. So here we're going to find 2-ply acrylic all. So let's grab this. We're going to grab the collection ID here. Just copy that whole URL. And under our vendors, vendor menu, my storefront menu is the one we want to edit. And here's the thing, guys. Okay, remember, when we set this up, only the child links actually went anywhere. Only the child links actually did anything. But I told you the parent links, those root objects, can do stuff too. They can also link you places. We shouldn't set it up to do that. So if we come into 2-ply acrylic and we just paste the URL to our 2-ply acrylic all category that we just made, or collection that we just made, and we don't change anything else, we'll go ahead and save that. Now we can come back to our storefront. Okay, so here's our storefront. And now not only can we click natural or colors, but we can just click 2-ply acrylic itself. And that'll take us to the 2-ply acrylic all. So we can see all of our 2-ply acrylic. So it really gives you the opportunity to, again, get people where they want to go. This gives people clear roads to get to exactly where they want to go. If this were an actual shop, or this was somebody's shop and they were asking for advice, I'd absolutely make a collection for all of our tumblers and link it to this our tumblers parent item as well. Because there are people that are just going to want to look at everything. They may not necessarily want to look at premium tumblers or value tumblers, and clicking this and having it do nothing is going to lead to frustration. We do that again here, up here in our catalog itself. You can click on any of these items and it will take you to the overarching page for whatever it is. So I just click catalog here, and that actually takes you to the LE catalog without me having to actually click anything in the catalog. So I recommend doing that. I recommend setting that up that way. But you certainly don't have to. Again, it's your store. And just generate collections that make sense for your stuff. Even if they're not multi-level, they don't even have to be multi-level. Like on the Kyle Tester one here that the vendor set up, it's just Kyle collection 1, collection 2, and collection 3. And they're just straight links. They don't even have submenus. They just take you straight to that collection. And that's fine too. At the end of the day, it's a system built for you guys to be as flexible as possible so that you don't have to do things one way or the other. You can do things the way that makes sense for you. And that was really the target in setting this up. So yeah, that's it. That's collections. We built 5 different collections. We added them to vendor menus. So we created my storefront menu and we added menus with links to all of our different collections in them. And you can use this so many different ways. So that's really important. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Really, this is what I came to show you guys today. This is weeks and months of work that is releasing today. So we're really proud of this. Do you have any input, Matt?
Ed, I've just been talking in chat, as you can probably hear my keyboard. Sorry.
You're all good.
Ed had said the reason that the child menus might be so far to the left is because the info screen that's there disappears when you click on a menu. It's still there, but it's just hidden. So basically the space doesn't actually alter, even though it looks like it might.
Sure.
So that might be something going on too.
Yeah,
So
we'll
good call, bud.
definitely have the devs take a look at that for sure.
And so just so you guys know some of the things I wrote down, and there's more than this, but this is why we do this product testing, and we do all the active testing, live testing, add support for images on the menu guide, have a go back button on the maker or have a go back to maker button on the menu and category pages, previews of the photos being used in collection, general and detail page. So like we literally make these things as we go to keep this going, and that's why we're doing the soft launch. Which, did you talk about that? Are you going to?
I didn't, but you're welcome to.
Yep. So basically, if you didn't get a chance, go back and watch our last video where it has literally the whole rollout for the next 4 weeks. We're starting off with vendors, working with vendors. Then we're going to LMA members. We'll be open up in a week after that. Then we'll open it up to Discord and then to Facebook. So basically, the whole goal is in these next 4 weeks to get everything that you're seeing now like optimal.
Yep.
So, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I did mention is that today is the last day
Yes.
to sign up for the Founders Plan. So if you haven't done that, we can take a look at that really quick too, just to kind of
understand the value. Home. Yeah,
it's the last day, guys, and I really want you to sign up for it because it's.
This is the thing too, like exactly what Alex is saying. You don't have to put all your products up. You just have to sign up.
Yeah, you just have to sign up by today. Literally today by like midnight Eastern.
5 minutes.
Yep. So choose your plan, guys. This is going to be gone, and our normal plan setup, which we talked about in a previous episode of the Laser Source podcast, titled Vendor Pricing. So if you're curious about pricing and you don't want to sign up today for the Founders Plan for whatever reason, you can go watch that, I guess. But the Founders Plan is the best you can get. It doesn't cost any money every month. It's absolutely free, and it has unlimited products, unlimited revenue, and the best transaction fee you can get on MakerREMIX, which is 5% plus 50 cents per transaction, and access to all of the vendor storefront features that we were just talking about. In the future, they're going to cost money, and right now they don't. So why would you not, hop on now if you could, and get access to all of these cool features to make your shop stand out? It's just a no-brainer, guys. So if you haven't signed up already, sign up today. You've got less than 12 hours before this goes away forever. So,
well, and just a couple of reasons why you might want to sell. Like if you're sitting there watching this or listening to this and you're wondering why me, like I don't really have anything to sell, you might not now. Like I have nothing on here to sell right now because I'm going to order things later. But like Cuban Cracked was just talking about aluminum blanks of a certain size that he makes or that he creates photos on for people. Maybe he buys 200 of those at a time, puts 100 of them on the marketplace. And I literally am sitting here thinking like I would buy 15 or 20 of those. So like instead of me having to go dig around, mess with Alibaba and all that, I just buy it from him. And like, does he make it an extra $1 or $2? Sure. Am I okay with that? Yeah, I'm okay with that. So, and I already know Anthony's got some stuff coming up, H&H Creations Tampa. There's so many reasons, so they're from people like me and you to actual like large corporations. So literally go sign up before it's too late and you just have to start paying a little more. Why would you wait?
Yeah. And again, we have an episode on that called Vendor Pricing. If you're curious, the Founders Plan probably won't last forever. It's a very bad deal for the market. So we're going to run it as long as humanly possible. I'm trying to commit to a year. So at least your first year with everything is going to be free, which is stellar. And that's just a thank you from us for people that have put up with the development process and kind of helped us test things and stuff like that. But it will not be an option tomorrow when you wake up. So again, if you haven't signed up, make sure you go do that. Smash the like button. Go watch the rest of the playlist. If you started halfway through this episode, go watch it from the beginning. It makes so much more sense. If you want to support development of this and our other online web services, like our fiber laser community libraries, our project libraries, the MakerREMIX social network, all of that development is just obscenely expensive. And it's all brought to you by the members over at the LMA. So if you have an extra $8 a month or whatever, and you want to help support the continued development of all of this stuff, please go sign up over there. It's masters.lasereverything.net. And I think that's all I've got. Next time that we hop on live, it'll be to discuss vendor paths, which are working. Yeah, there's a couple things that I really want to see integrated in before we make the announcement, but they are working right now. They've been tested. Funds have arrived in bank accounts, Matt.
Yep.
Yeah. So
took 1 day.
That works. And we'll talk more about that in the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Share this video with somebody you think will care, and we will see you in the next one.